was your hero when you were younger?
I guess it would just really be my parents originally. I learned from them how to be with others, how to be loving and kind, and never think I was better than anyone else.
What do you love most about your job?
So many things. It's the people. Learning from everybody, having fun, bringing out the best in others and in myself, being challenged.
What has been the highlight of your career so far?
I think getting this job. I've always wanted to be able to see if I could really shape an organization that is based on being good to people.
What's the most important lesson you've learned, and how did you learn it?
To embrace who I am and the way I am, to be honest, to be real, and not waste energy trying to please other people and be something I'm not.
Were you ever discriminated against because of your gender, career choice, or anything else?
Oh, yeah. Mostly my gender. I think, corporate world is still very male-dominated. Only 15% of the Fortune 500 companies have senior women. Not the workforce. We make up what? Half the workforce, a little over half the workforce. We're working, but we're not at the senior levels. So there have been times I've been discriminated against for that. And I think what you can do again is you can whine and cry and be resentful over it, or you can say, I'm going to keep going and I'm going to break through it.
Did you ever doubt your career choice or yourself, or were you afraid?
I've never doubted the career choices I've made. I've been afraid a lot. I've been insecure and doubtful about myself a lot. Yeah. And I've been critical of myself a lot. And I used to share those doubts and fears with my parents. And the best thing they'd always say to me is they'd just look at me and I'd be going on about this and that and being really dramatic about my fears and my insecurities. And they would look at me and they would say, are you doing your best? I go, yes, I am. That's all you can do.
How did you deal with having breast cancer, and how did that affect your life?
When I first found out, I prayed for two things. That God would make sure during this time of treatment, because I knew it was going to be long, so for 10 months, I knew I was going to be going through a lot. And so I asked for God to help me be aware of what was going on and listen to the conversations and the encounters I had and learn what I'm supposed to learn from it. And I asked for God to help me be gracious through it, that I would be kind even when I felt terrible. I didn't want to be one of those grumpy, sick people. So I asked for that. And I drove home from being told, and I just made a decision right there and then that I was not going to let the cancer define me, that it was just another thing I had to deal with. And so I kept working as much as I could. There were times I got really sick and I couldn't work much, but I kept working.
What is your biggest remaining life or career goal?
I would probably say career, I've kind of met it, and I'm happy. I think life goal would be to continue to try to make a difference for people who are less fortunate than I am. To be an advocate for the kids who need it, for women and children, and to find ways through nonprofit work and otherwise to do that, to make a difference.